Vanishing Innocence: The Enigma of Casey Anthony. In the summer of 2008, a young mother named Casey Anthony's life took a sinister turn as she faced every parent's worst nightmare: the disappearance of her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee. What initially seemed like a heartbreaking missing child case soon unraveled into a web of deception. Shocking revelations that will leave you questioning the boundaries of justice, and a trial that would captivate the nation. In that small town in Florida, the disappearance of little Kaylee sparked an intense search, drawing attention from local authorities and volunteer organizations alike. But as investigators dug deeper, they uncovered a disturbing truth that would leave the entire country in disbelief. And what could that be? Prepare to immerse yourself in a gripping narrative that reverberated across the globe: the perplexing case of Casey Anthony, of mystery and intrigues that unravels the haunting details surrounding the disappearance of her daughter, following the shocking twists and turns that unfolded during the high-profile trial where truth and deception collided in a battle for justice, embarking on a compelling journey that will leave you questioning the very essence of truth and the complexities of the human psyche. In the quiet town of Orlando, Florida, a bright young soul named Kaylee Marie Anthony graced the lives of her mother, Casey Marie Anthony, and doting grandparents, George and Cindy Anthony. The tranquility shattered into a million pieces when tragedy struck on that unforgettable day of July 15, 2008. A frantic call pierced the airwaves. Cindy's trembling voice echoed with desperation as she confessed the unimaginable: Kaylee was missing. Time stood still as the days turned into weeks, engulfing the community in a whirlwind of anguish and uncertainty. And then came the chilling twist, as Casey spun a tale of a nanny and an abduction, a twisted fiction that sent shockwaves across the nation. As the puzzle pieces fell into place, the weight of accusation fell upon Casey, charged with the darkest of crimes: first-degree murder. Yet, amidst the tears and shattered dreams, the quest for justice for Kaylee remains unwavering. Casey's contradictory statements to law enforcement raised suspicion from the start, leaving investigators and loved ones grasping for the truth. Casey had earlier claimed that Kaylee had been kidnapped by her nanny, but a search of the supposed nanny's apartment revealed it had been abandoned for months. Later on, Casey led investigators on a wild goose chase, pretending to work at Universal Studios, only to admit she hadn't been employed there for years. The question arose: how could Casey's claims about the nanny's involvement in Kaylee's disappearance be trusted when the supposed nanny's apartment turned out to be abandoned? What was Casey's true motive, and where was the elusive truth hiding? What was Casey Anthony hiding? As the investigation continued, crucial evidence emerged from the depths of a wooded area near the Anthony residence. Ones later confirmed to be Kaylee's were discovered, shattering any hope of a joyful reunion. Anthony's skeletal remains were found with a blanket inside a laundry bag in a wooded area near the Anthony family's house. Investigative reports and trial testimony varied between duct tape being found near the front and mouth of the skull. The medical examiner listed Anthony's cause of death as homicide by undetermined means. The cause of death remained undetermined, leaving investigators to piece together the puzzle of a mother's alleged involvement in her own child's demise. Casey was offered a limited immunity deal in exchange for help finding Kaylee. Prosecutors said they would not use Casey's statements to police against her. The offer expired September 2, 2008. Cindy and George appeared on Silver Creek Entertainment show on October 22, 2008, where they maintained their belief that Anthony was alive and would be found. Larry Garrison, president of Silver Creek Entertainment, who was their spokesman not until November 2008, citing that he was resigning as their spokesperson due to the Anthony family's erratic behaviors. What followed was a trial that would captivate the nation. The courtroom became a battleground, pitting the prosecution's claims of murder against the defense's portrayal of an innocent woman caught in a web of circumstances as the media house outlets sensationalized every twist and turn, while passionate TV hosts amplified the public's curiosity and outrage. The lead prosecutor in the case was Assistant State Attorney Linda Drain Burdick. Assistant State Attorneys Frank George and Jeff Ashton completed the prosecution team, and the lead counsel for the defense was Jose Baez, a Florida criminal defense attorney. Attorneys J. Cheney Mason, Dorothy Clay Sims, and Finnell served as co-counsel. During the trial, attorney Mark Lipman represented George and Cindy. Jury selection began on May 9, 2011 at the Pinellas County Criminal Justice Center in Clearwater, Florida. Because the case had been so widely reported in the Orlando area as jurors were brought from Pinellas County to Orlando, the jury selection took longer than expected and ended on May 20, 2011 with 12 jurors and 5 alternates being sworn in, of which comprises of 9 women and 8 men. The trial took 6 weeks, during which time the jury was sequestered to avoid influence from information available outside the courtroom. The jury began deliberations on July 4 and on July 5. Prosecutors stated that, during deliberations, they were about to give the jury the corrected information with regard to Bradley's software discrepancy. However, one legal analyst stated that if the jury had found Casey guilty before receiving the exculpatory evidence, the prosecution's failure to fully disclose it could have been grounds for a mistrial. On July 5, 2011, the jury found Casey not guilty of counts 1 through 3 regarding first-degree murder, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and aggravated child abuse, while finding her guilty on counts 4 through 7 for providing false information to law enforcement. The guilty counts pertain to Casey's false statements that she worked at Universal Studios, employed Fernandez Gonzalez as a nanny, had told 2 Universal Studios co-workers that Anthony had disappeared, and had spoken by phone with Anthony after Anthony went missing. Casey appealed her convictions, arguing that the false statements she provided to officers constituted one offense, and that the statements were inadmissible because she had not been given a Miranda warning. The prosecution said that each statement constituted a separate offense and that Casey was not detained at the time she made any of the statements. The defense team, led by Jose Baez, chiefly focused on challenging the prosecution's evidence, calling much of it fantasy forensics. The defense stated that the child had drowned accidentally in the family's swimming pool and that George had disposed of the body. The verdict, when it finally arrived, sent shockwaves throughout the country as Casey was acquitted of the most serious charges. Casey Anthony walked free, leaving many to question whether justice had truly been served. Concluding this gripping journey into the perplexing case of Casey Anthony, have delved deep into the layers of this captivating true crime story, exploring the intricate web of deceit, suspicion, and unanswered questions. As we contemplate the legacy of the Casey Anthony case, we are reminded of the potent force true crime narratives exert over our collective consciousness, compelling us to confront the depths of human behavior, the elusive nature of truth, and the fallibility of our justice system. As this case serves as a poignant reminder, likened to the high-profile trials that behind the sensational headline left an indelible mark on true crime history, lies genuine human lives impacted. Real anguish endured fueled heated debates across the nation, with genuine inquiries left unanswered. Ultimately, the Casey Anthony case will forever be ingrained in our memories as a cautionary tale, challenging our preconceptions of justice, testing our faith in the legal apparatus,